Hi everybody, the Mature Simmer here. Very early this year, instead of coming in here in the planting time, I'm here a little bit early. We're just here in January and just actually finished up collecting up all the straw and just dumped the last load over into our small biogas plant. I'm filling up my fuel here. And then I'm going to get my repair done. So most of my vehicles, I think all of my vehicles, are repaired. But most importantly, we're coming in here to customization. And we're going to take this thing up to the full capacity that we are able to have. So we're going to spend that. You heard the disconnection, because that's what happens when you change things, and yeah, we're all set there. So we now have 150,000 capacity instead of 120. So used up a little bit of money. We were, I think, about 100,000 in total more, but between repairing the tractors and the equipment and so forth, because there were some that hadn't been repaired for a bit, we were probably 25%. Whoa. Sorry, looking off, hitting something on my tablet and driving off the road. So, I frankly am still trying to determine just how active folks are. So, we've got Bright Life, who is the only one I've seen on the server in a long time. They did join, I don't know, maybe half hour or so ago, 45 minutes, whatever it was. They've been on for a bit. And I'm not even sure exactly where their farm is. We've got light purple. This is Lomeric that we helped, and then we have the gray. I want to say I think Bright is down there. No, so he's the light blue. Oh, and he just left. Literally was on for about half an hour. And so basically they're up here in this corner. And that is it. Now are they... or I don't know who that actually... It's hard to tell who this color actually belongs to. If that's them or... I haven't seen 34 planted in a while, so I'm a little hopeful that maybe that one will come up. I want to say it may be 2 years. Okay, and it looks like we've got Guyver coming on. So, haven't seen them in a while, but they used to be pretty active. So, we're across the bridge here, so when it sinks, we'll be good. But I'm going up to get lime. So I'm going to do that. Alright, I am back here. We can see our total cost. I think lime is on the end, if I remember correctly. It should give us the I button. There we go. I don't know if it's going to take all of it, but given that we're liming the large field, I'm not terribly concerned that we're not ultimately going to give ourselves enough room, because I'm thinking we're going to need 40 to 50,000 liters of lime. We only had about 10,000 in there, and I don't remember if this is like a 100,000 limit. If it is, obviously we're going to hit that really soon here. But if it's larger, and I think for the lime it may have been, because obviously they know lime is pretty substantial. No, okay, so it is about 100,000, because I think, maybe it's 105 or 115. Alright, I've dumped off the filter, and now I just need to get some lime and get going. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. I certainly now have enough for probably several years, and I can go forward from there. So there we go, 153,000 is the limit on this silo. So I'm going to get going on that, and then at least we'll be ready for planting. So I'll see you in a bit. Back here in spring, and going ahead, and I'm going to get my fields planted today. Goodness, a little bit of lag this morning. So just heading over here. You know, I'm going to get this moving. I'm going to continue to do the same thing that I've been doing, which is just plant some oats and go from there. I am concerned and confused by the result I saw last time, which was obviously the drop in yield of 50 or 60,000 liters across the field. So I don't understand what happened there. I'm going to just double check my fields this time. So the other potential option that is coming up is the farmer who's on field 34 next to me has indicated a possible desire to sell because he hasn't used that field in a while. So I kind of raised it with them. Did I run out of seed? No. It's just, alright. It's just showing oh, there we go. It finally got to 100. Like, it's just showing 99%, so it's almost as if it's not letting me do it. Alright, that's always a trick with the trigger points. There we go. Alright. But the drill is pretty much the same here at Farmers Only Club. We are doing the same thing farmers have been doing for, I don't know, millennia at this point, right? We're planting, supplementing through fertilization. So, you know, they haven't been doing that back, 1,000 years ago. They didn't have, chemical fertilizer, but you get the general concept. Setting my GPS and, dealing with weeds, and then planting or getting the fruits of our harvest, and obviously then getting something for them, and then we repeat that cycle. So that is what I'm doing. That down, we're going to head over here, I'm going to turn it on, and we're planting another field of oats, although I did say I was going to check the field first. Let me do that. Alright, so the field's harvested. That's obviously the little bit that I did is growing. It's not fertilized. I'm assuming it's going to show lots of weeds. Yes, which we know. We have needs plowing on, needs limas on. And again, I'm not doing mulching and so forth. So the field's in as good a shape as it can be. But, 34 is a good size field. Yeah. I didn't turn it back on. I always love when I do that. I was trying to avoid, it just continuing to drop fertilizer while I was analyzing the map, which sometimes it'll do, because that's one of the pieces. Without precision farming, there is more of a possibility of supply waste. If I go here, I need 1.3 million, and even if he gives me a good deal, I'm probably talking about, where this was 1.2, so you can see they're very similar, but that will, give me a lot. Again, my preference certainly would be 37, and then eventually 38, but Lomeric's not indicating any desire to sell those, so I've got to go with what is available, and they're offering that. We'll see when we get down there. It's kind of rendering that general layout, but I would imagine we're going to find it's just a field of stubble. But I just don't recall if that's actually going to be the case or not. Maybe he's decided to do something with the field this year. And it might be a little bit early. That was always part of the thing, because I'd come in here in the spring, and I think you can plant corn later. No, corn's the same, so I was mistaken. I was thinking you could plant corn later, and so I'm like, well, maybe they're just coming in and planting it, but I would have seen it growing or something at some point in between, and I did not. So, per the normal challenges that occur, I've got a limited amount of time to get a good amount of work done. You know, in my field expansion, in this case, is simply an opportunity that has come about. So if I've learned anything on the servers in FOC, it's if you don't buy it, someone else will, type of thing. And so, just like anything, I've got to take advantage of it. Now, so far, I've just let him know I am interested. He's not in a hurry to sell. It's not as if he's leaving or anything, but I've just, you know, he's told me I could lease the field, but I'm like, you know, I looked at that math with Lomeric before I bought 36 from him, and just determined, you know what, I just need to save up the money, because I'm basically working to make a few tens of thousands of dollars off the field, is kind of how leasing tends to work. And so, yes, it gives me that extra opportunity to do the work, but it's not a profitable enterprise by any stretch of the imagination. So my thought was, you know, I'll do better just to go ahead and just wait and make my profits, and when I can afford it, I'll go ahead and do it. So, you know, what I may do over the next period of time, and this may be a few game years, because at this point, if I'm making a couple $100,000 a year, maybe, I'm probably still looking at 5 game years before I'm available or able to afford. Whoops, shoot. Usually I hit the V button, so I need to get back in that, which lifts the implement. And for whatever reason today, I was turning the implement on and off, and then of course I hit the V button to lower it, and it lifted it, and just made things worse. But luckily, backing up, it didn't get offline. I caught it fast enough. But, you know, this gets, as per normal, it's going to get the crop in the ground in the first layer of fertilization. And then I've got to come through here and run the weeder over it to try to just make sure that I maximize everything. So I am going to go ahead and do that work, and I'll certainly be able to do it before the end of the day. So I'm not worried. I'm not that limited in time, but for the near future, I just didn't get started as early as I might like today, and therefore I've got a short window. But I'm like, you know, let me get some stuff in the ground, and then at least I feel like I've begun moving forward. So I'll be back. And I've decided I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of a detour, or a diversion at this point. So I'm going to upgrade my little water cart here, because this is getting difficult. I have run really low on the water again, and this moves 2,000 liters at a time. And when obviously I was just trying to, you know, I put those greenhouses in to make any kind of money so that I could do things before I had to work the, you know, when the fields were putting out maybe 50,000 or something. It was, what can I do to make a little bit of extra income? And so, you know, there's multiple options, but I think even just taking a simple step up to the same ABI tank, I can get a tank that's basically almost 3 times the size. It's 6,000 liters instead of 2,000 liters. You know, it's not quite, because this is 2,082, and I think it's 6,056, so it's slightly less, but it's really close to 3 times the capacity, and so therefore each greenhouse takes 20,000 liters, so you can understand, you know, I'm taking 30 trips back and forth to the greenhouses to fill them fully, and this would obviously then take that down to about 10. So it's a significant difference for something that happens, or needs to happen, if I want to keep things running, which once again the greenhouses ran out of water just because I neglected them, so shame on me. But at that point, if I'm not doing that, they do have production costs, and just for having them, and maintenance costs on the farm, and so I end up losing a little under $1,000 a day. So that doesn't make a lot of sense, and so I think I can if I looked at the price correctly, I think this is going to be $8,000, and obviously I'm going to get something back for this. Probably nothing terribly significant because it was only $3,000 to begin with, but you know, even if I get $1,000 back, you know, it takes the price down to $7,000, because I think there's one that does like 7,300, but it's like another 1,500 just for another, you know, 1,300 liters. So we'll see. Maybe I might step up to 1 or 2 up, but kind of the biggest one I think is like $25,000 for something that's significantly less in size and capacity. So if I go in here, yeah, it looks like I'm going to get 1,600, so that's not bad. All right, yeah, so the difference with this is this can carry other things. These are just water tankers. And so, you know, it's the question of an extra $1,300 for $1,500. It might make sense, so I'll go ahead and do that. Because at this point, you know, I have some cash, and this is where it's kind of the penny wise and pound foolish type of decisions where, sure, I can continue slogging along, and ultimately that would be the most frugal thing to do, but it doesn't take much to just be like, you know, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have the desire because I don't want to run the tank over 10 times or 30 times, so I don't run the greenhouses, and then for the difference of $1,500 in that case, that's 2 days that I don't run a greenhouse, and I've already lost that amount. So it's not like it takes much. And at this point, you know, I haven't been running the greenhouse for quite a few months, so I've probably lost more money than than frankly this thing cost. So that's why I was starting to fill them back up, and just had done the one trip to each to at least get them to start producing before the 9 o'clock hour, so that I would start getting positive amounts coming in to my funds instead of just the maintenance. But then determined, you know what, I need to step this up. I've got almost $400,000, and all these water options are under 10,000. It's a foolish game that I'm playing. So just wanted to let you know that is what is happening. But I'm gonna at this point I'll probably fill up the greenhouses, because now it'll be nice and quick. You know, I've already got 2,000 in each one, so I think between these I'm gonna need less than 3 trips per, because if I remember correctly, the capacity is 7,300, so it'll take less than 3 to fill empty greenhouses. So I might have 6 or 7 loads with this, so that this is much more manageable. And I did look at, like, you know, putting something on the truck where I could fill everything kind of at one time, but I don't need anything that large, and it's a lot more expensive to do that. But I think then, you know, I could do like 35,000 liters or something. But we're going with this because it's not as if I have plans to do milk or change to liquid fertilizer. You know, those things might make sense if I was doing, or the herbicide, if I had precision farming. But since we don't have that option, I think I'm just sticking with my weeder and going with that, because I'm not going to get much better unless I suddenly start spraying. And that's just a lot of outlay for stuff that is not going to be as beneficial. And again, with precision farming, I could do see and spray technology and save significant amounts of fertilizer, but right now, not that option in FOC. So I'm saying the same thing 17 different ways. I'm going to shut up now, and now you know what I'm doing, and I'll just keep getting on with the work, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, this is not a view I was expecting to see. So I'm back in here. I knew this was the last day. I just had run into some issues of getting back in. I planted my oats here in April. In theory... Oh, I see. Clearly, I lost track of the harvest calendar, so... Yeah. well, so never mind. Now I understand why I wasn't expecting to see it, but it's just a mistake in my own head. So I was like thinking, oh yeah, I'll be able to harvest into the fall, but with the calendar here at Farmers Only Club, yeah. So basically, I wasted $40,000 in supplies on these 2 fields. Now, the good news is, because I also didn't have time to come in and fertilize the second time, like real life kind of got me, and you know, I'm heading into another time. You know, we're in the holiday season here, and I'm traveling and so forth, so I know I've got a year coming up now where I won't be able to do anything. So it'll be a little bit till the next FOC video again. You know, it'll be coming, but hopefully I'll have better luck. But I lost my first harvest in FOC. Probably a pretty short episode then for the year, because, yeah. With that, I'll just wrap it up. There's really nothing more to say other than I'm an idiot, and I need to pay attention to what's happening. But like I said, sometimes real life gets in the way, and that's the joy and the curse of real-time servers in an environment. Time goes on whether you like it or not. So, with all that, I will see you next time.